Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening call. Whether you're listening morning, noon, or night, we are here every Tuesday to do an introduction to this very special company and a little history about the company, the founder, the technology, introduce the star of the show, which is a product called X39. You can hear about that in just a minute. And then we bring on our special guest. And this evening we have Dr. Walter Young. It's a treat for me. We have this amazing rotation of wonderful practitioners that are here with us to share their wisdom about the technology, the science, and answer your questions. So notice that in the chat, if you have a question, please write it in there. And we're having kind of a challenge with unmuting people. So if you have a story, you can write that in the chat too, and we'll talk about it because we love to hear your stories too. So let's get started, okay? So I'm your host this evening. My name is Robin Blank Mascari, and I fell in love with this company 2.5 years ago when I had an amazing experience. I came on as a customer, and amazing things happened. The pain in my knee went away in a week after putting this little thing on the back of my neck. Amazing. And I couldn't not share. And I think that's happened to a lot of other people, feeling this sense of responsibility to let people know about this historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology. So let me start a little bit with a history of the company. LifeWave will be 17 years old in November. It got started after David Schmidt had invented something for the Navy SEALs, and he was hired on a government contract to create something that would help them stay awake in their mini subs. Mini subs are single subs, one person in a little mini submarine, and sometimes they have to stay awake for days on end. And they wanted something that was not stimulants, not chemicals, something that would help these Navy SEALs stay awake. And the energy enhancer patch was born, which actually accesses 500 calories of your body fat and turns it in and burns it to clean, pure energy. And then it was discovered it did a lot of other things too, which has happened with all of our patches. We talk about some things they do, but they actually do many more things. And what happened was it was discovered by athletes. One day, Richard Quick, the women's Olympic swim coach, called David Schmidt, our founder, and said, my swimmers put on your patch, and the first time they used it, 6 of the 8 of them did their personal best. And if you know anything about athletics, there's nothing more minutely measured than sport performance. The word got out. Things took off with LifeWave. They got tons of media. It was very exciting. And David kept creating more and more patches, and wonderful things happen. And David is one of those amazing beings. He's an inventor. He's a scientist, and he gives credit where credit is due. He just kept creating more things, and one after another, and the company grew and grew and grew. And then it kind of wasn't growing so much anymore because there were a lot of products. And he actually got involved in doing research on anti-aging and came out with several wonderful patches for that. And then he started doing research on regenerative science. And that turned into a major, as I mentioned, historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology using light. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. The company ships our products to over 75 countries around the world. Corporate offices are in Ireland and San Diego. They manufacture in both of those locations. And distribution centers in 14 places around the world. As I mentioned, the company's been around a while, but when this new technology came out that activates this very special copper peptide called GHK-CU, and please do your own research on that. Many of you are brand new, and I want to give you a special warm welcome because this may be your very first introduction to LifeWave, and this is an important thing to research because that's the magic behind what happens in this patch. And the very first year it came out, the company tripled in sales. And ever since then, it's been multiplying and multiplying. Now the company's growing 13%, I believe, 12 or 13% month over month, which is a very steep growth curve, and we're very excited. And it's because of this wonderful technology. So David himself has over 100 patents and patent pendings. You know, other company owners, as Gregory likes to say, want the bigger house, the bigger car, the bigger boat. David wants to spend more money on research. The company is research oriented. They devote millions and millions of dollars to really validate the efficacy of what we have in this technology, which is truly a breakthrough. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do is introduce you to our special guest this evening. This is always fun for me. Every week I get to, share the Zoom with a wonderful, wonderful practitioner. And our gift tonight is Dr. Walter Young, and he comes to us with a conventional medical background. And then it was what, 1990 when you made the shift? Let's see, let me look at my notes. It was 1990 when you went to China, and everything changed from then. Eyes got opened and chose to, redirect his medical career into traditional Chinese medicine. And now he's an acupuncture physician out of Colorado and lives in Colorado and New Mexico. And we're going to get to meet in person really soon. I'm so excited for that. And Dr. Walt has been with us for a while, and he's a depth and breadth of wisdom and wonderful knowledge to share with everybody. So welcome, Dr. Walt. We'd love to see your face in live.
Hi, everybody.
There he is.
Good to see you.
You're looking great. You're looking great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So as we like to get started with you sharing a little bit about, as an acupuncture physician, coming, you beautifully bridge East and West. You incorporate all of it. You're always open to new technologies. You actually feel it's a responsibility of a practitioner to always be open. What happened that had you be so interested in LifeWave?
Well, I had been using LifeWave way back in 2005.
You were there in the early days.
I was in the early days, yes. And I was attracted to it because of David's interest in and understanding of our meridian system, our electrical system, our light system, basically. And that was a time when we were seeing a lot of energy medicine, frequency medicine being born, and people were a little bit, not understanding it. Even people within my healthcare practitioners just didn't know what to make of it, and that's been evolving. But what got me really was when X39 came out with the stem cell and the ability to activate stem cells. And as you all know, stem cells are vital to our life, how we age, how we don't age, how we heal our wounds, even external, internal. And when I saw that it was activating the GHK copper peptide, it was a no-brainer. And you get excited because I can get rid of pain with people sitting down right there as we talk. So it was a big deal for me. And, I had to share it. You have to share new technology. Of course, I did my due diligence a long time ago. So knowing David, and the research that he does, and he's very serious about, doing more research and development. It's really important that people know that it's not all about fancy cars and money. It's really about helping heal people. And that's one of my main goals, is also the economics for my clients, so that they don't have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time. This helps me out also and helps them tremendously.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you're an early adopter.
Yeah. Well, and it's really amazing that it seems that in my whole life I've been a pioneer, and it can be a little comfortable to be a pioneer, but I'm telling all of our audience out there, you're in the right place and you have an amazing, amazing product. Learn how to use it. It's not hard, and don't worry, you're not going to hurt somebody if you put the patch in the wrong area. And, we can go over that too.
Yes, thank you for that. And
yeah,
you started the conversation on stem cells. Let's talk a little bit about them, because it is definitely a buzzword. It is the future of medicine, and some people understand them, some people don't. So can you give people a basic grounding of why, what it's like when we're young, what happens as we age, and why are they so important?
Well, we have these cells that are called stem cells. And, I like to call them mother cells. In Spanish, they're called mother cells because they will go anywhere in the body that's needed for healing. But the unfortunate thing, because we live in a post-industrial society, we're bombarded with a lot of chemicals, whether it's in the air, the food that we, are eating, our stressors. And as we age, these stem cells just are not active as they used to be. And so, you see that your skin isn't healing quick, or you don't feel the vitality that you might be feeling.
Yes.
The pain that you might have as you're aging. All of these things can be addressed with the LifeWave patches. So stem cells are these little guys that are running around wanting to repair you. And so with the patch and the biophoton modulation that goes on with us, they start to increase, and we have more stem cells to go in and start to repair the damage that we have. And that damage can be, like I said, anything from the stressors to an operation, a post-op operation. I make sure all my patients know about it pre and post-op for the healing, or if it's just regular wound healing. There was a time in my life when I was a certified nationally wound care specialist. I've never seen wounds heal this fast before. With X39, it's really quick.
That's amazing. And that is one of the gifts of the copper peptide, is accelerating of wound healing. I mean, doctors are amazed when they see their patients after a procedure. They just can't believe, even older ones. So stem cells, and I love that they're mother cells. They're always looking for work, they're looking for inflammation, they're looking for damage. And when we're young, we have a lot. And like you said, as we get older, we have less. And then those signs and symptoms of the aging process take over, don't they?
Sure, they do take over. And just think of the copper peptide as a food that activates them. So they like to get going, and they want to go and do their job, but they need a little bit of help from us too. Just like your body, this thing that we're carrying needs our help. You've really got to take care of your skin. You've got to take care of this entity that you are. And as we're evolving, more and more research is showing that we have some amazing things that we can offer ourselves and our patients, and LifeWave is one of them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So when as we age and we have less stem cells, then those aging things happen, but now we can actually regenerate those and turn back the clock, can't we?
Yes, we can. And with some of the other patches.
And to feel better, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our amazing stories, and I love that every day that I wake up, I get to hear miracle stories. And today I was in tears 3 times in one day.
Wow.
I know, that's a big day. But it's a wonderful way to live. And I'm not even a practitioner. So you started talking a little bit about the technology, and I think it's so fascinating. So could you explain how this thing works?
Right. So I think everybody in the audience knows that light is life. We need light, and we are light beings. I mean, just like if you put on night goggles like the armed forces has, you can see people moving in the dark. We're giving off this energy, this light, and there's over 100,000 types of biophoton modulations going on in the body. And it's not only it's not only us. It's your pets at home, it's plants, it's even the healthy tissue is giving off light, as also so is the bad tissue. Okay, and even viruses and bacteria give off this kind of light. So everything revolves around the light energy, and we're understanding this more and more. I mean, this started with a lot of research back in the 70s. So what happens is, as we give off this light energy, the minerals and the organic crystals that are in the patch bounce back a message, and everything is a message. Our cells communicate with this light. It's just like your photo optic lights that we get that turn on our computers, and it's the same thing. Messages are going back and forth all the time, and so we pick up that send it back into the body and start telling the body to start to activate the GHK copper peptide. And that happens, and our stem cells like it because it's food for them. And this starts to happen. And I don't like to say the magic starts to happen because it's there. It's going to happen. And some people may want something different, but nope, your body's going to tell you what it needs first. And I tell everybody, give it a chance. Make sure you drink your water, because we are about water. And this light needs this bathing of this saline solution inside. And just be consistent. Wear your patch 12 hours a day. Some people do 15, that's fine. But the consistency is very important if you want to get the results. And then I'm sure you'll see what you want to see eventually. That just means somewhere in there, those mother cells are working on something that you didn't know was going on.
I love the way you said that, because they have this innate wisdom, don't they? And they go where they're needed. It might not be where we want, but they go where they're needed. And
They're needed.
In order of importance of what's most life-threatening. So you started to move into the direction I want to go. I love it. So I wanted to talk about, how people utilize this technology and get the maximum benefit. And you talked about, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, the body needs a break. What else do people need to know other than hydration about what to expect? What kind of benefits do you think people, not do you think, do you know people can look for and expect from this technology?
Well, with in particular, talking about the X39, you might see differences in your energy, your vitality, your brain function. I've gotten people that are in their 70s say, I can do a crossword puzzle now, whereas before I couldn't, and do it quickly. Your reading may be different. Your stress level may go down. There's a whole array of things that would happen while you're using the patch. But just remember, it's going to go to where it needs first. And then it might work on all the other incidental things. I mean, I've had people, I can remember this young lady, she was 52, very healthy. She does our Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. When she wore, and she's an esthetician, when she put the patch on, she went on vacation. When she went back to her state and she went into her spa, all the young ladies in there said, "What did you have done? Spill your beans, let's go." And she said, "I just wore this patch that stimulates stem cells." So they all understood stem cells. But so her face completely changed. She said she was softer looking. The fine lines were puffing out, not so deep. So it can be as simple as that. I have people that have said, their hairdressers have said, "Your hair is really growing. What are you doing?" So it's a whole array of things in your body that activates these mother cells, these stem cells. So be really happy and surprised when it happens. And I always tell everybody, journal, even if it's something simple, like my nails are growing like crazy, which mine are. I hate the constant growth of this, but they get longer, faster, and really hard.
That's
and
beautiful.
I already have a whole bunch of hair anyway, so
Well, aren't you lucky?
yeah, I am.
So we do have a health tracker, and we like everyone to get a baseline before you start using it, because lots of things, like Dr. Walt was saying, so many different things can change. I mean, I wanted the pain in my knee to go away, and it did in a week. It was like gone. I put it here, and a week later, my knee pain was gone. And I went,
Yeah.
huh? And then all these other things, like the quality of my hair and my skin. And, it's when we're younger, we have more collagen. Well, there goes those fine lines and wrinkles, and flexibility and energy and all those things that, I mean, I like to ask people, are you experiencing any of the signs or symptoms of the aging process? And then they typically laugh, and then they start giving me a laundry list, because it's kind of like it creeps up. But isn't it wonderful to know that it can turn back? So hydration is important. Giving your body a break is important. One more thing, is there any negative side effects? Is there anyone who shouldn't use these patches?
I wouldn't give it to anybody that is an organ transplant person. And we don't have any research really on pregnant women, but I don't see where that would hurt at all to stimulate. But it's the transplant person that you want to keep the patch off of.
Right.
And that's just it. Just to be careful and cautious, just like all of the things that I do, I always have to ask a female, if there's any possibility that she's pregnant, because I'm transferring energy back and forth, and we don't want anything to happen to the fetus.
Okay. Like you said, there's no research because pregnant women are not part of research studies. So let's see what kind of questions or stories our participants have. So thank you everyone for being so compliant. We're not here to heal, cure, or diagnose anything. We just
Right.
talk symptoms. And we have a few questions for you, Dr. Walt, if you're up for it.
Sure.
Let's see. Deb is asking, I have a nephew with neurological problems. He's been using the HEAD protocol, but wondering if there are tweaks for specific neurological issues.
Well, I'm glad that he's using the protocol, because I always have my hat here ready to go. As some of you know, because of a blood disorder that I inherited from my father, my blood is very thick. So I've had 6 strokes in my life. And of course, as you can see, I'm fine, but it's because of, I believe fully, the Chinese medicine, and along with that, the patches that I use. So I would continue using the brain protocol for him. I don't know how old he is, but you want to maybe include carnosine. I hope you're using X39, but include the carnosine, because that also will help the mitochondria, the powerhouse in our cells. And also the tips of our DNA have something called telomeres. And as we age, or if there's any problems, those seem to shatter and start to fall apart a little, where this will help impede some of that. So I would include the carnosine and definitely keep the X39 going. That would be my recommendation. Make sure he drinks water. And if he does have a neurological issue, be consistent.
You say that a lot. And one of our teammates said, compliance is so much easier with this. It's just peel and stick.
And it's a heck of a lot easier than remembering to take an herb or a pill or something.
So I just want to briefly share with people the brain protocol, whether you're familiar or not, synchronizes brain frequencies. So people that have had, neurologically based challenges, and I'm not going to mention any disease states or things, but a lot of them, or mental imbalances even, it can do a wonderful job. And there's several patches in a hat. The patches do not need to touch your body. They need to be just 3 to 6 inches and they get activated. So it's a wonderful thing. And Gregory and I call it our smart hat, because if you don't have any of those issues, it's wonderful for focus and calm. And we call it our smart hat. So let's move on.
And I just want people not to fear it, because remember, I haven't seen any side effects to any of this. I mean, you might go through what we call a Herxheimer's reaction with the X39, but that really means it's getting rid of damaged tissue. And it dumps that into your cardiovascular system, and you may feel a little punky, but drink your water to, push through that. And that's really not a side effect. That's just something that happens with healing.
Thank you so much for saying that, because some people might say, oh my gosh, I'm feeling worse. And then we say, oh, good, you're feeling, because feeling is healing.
It's healing. That's right.
Those old cells need to slough off, and they can create some inflammation,
Right. That's very true.
Could be uncomfortable. Okay. Yep. I do want to say a special happy birthday for Coach Clarissa. She's here on her 50th birthday. She said, because she couldn't miss it. Happy birthday, Coach Clarissa. That's so wonderful. You. Yes. Okay. So now we want to, Victoria has a procedure for her hand on Monday, and she's looking for suggestions for pre and post-op and patching protocols.
So you're going to have surgery. That means you're going to be cut. So I would start with the X39 with, always X39, really. Remember, those are the mother cells. I think most people now get a little bit of an idea when I say mother cells, you understand mothers come in to help you. you know, care for you, you know, nourish you, heal you type of thing. Stem cells are the science name, but think of the mother cell. So I would do the X39 by all means. And because maybe, you know, afterwards you might be getting some antibiotics or whatever, patch on, you know, the glutathione, raise your antioxidant level so you know, you'll fight some kind of potential infection. You know, you probably won't get the infection, but using a patch isn't going to hurt you. It's going to raise your glutathione level, and then you have your stem cells going for you, and you should be really, you'll be fine.
Yes.
You
And
really will.
where would she put the X39 pre and post op, Dr.
Well,
Walt?
I don't know where on her, if it's her hand specifically,
Yes.
but it is just her hand. So if you can see my hand, whoops, right here, about a couple of inches down in between both tendons, put it right there, because it's going to go that way anyway. And if that's in the way of the physician or anything, you can put it further down. It doesn't matter, because they're going to recognize, ups, I've been cut. Let's send the mother cells in there to start to heal it.
Beautiful. So it will accelerate the healing. And
yes,
glutathione, for people that don't know, it will enhance your immune system, like Dr. Walt said, and it'll help get some of those toxins from some of those meds out of your body quicker too, won't it?
Right. Especially if you're drinking that water.
Drink that water.
Yeah, to drink that water.
We got to drink that water. Okay. So may it go very well.
Yes, I hope. Yes, it'll go very well.
Yes, it will. And you're going to heal really fast. So we have a question from Jocelyn. And she said, my business partner's son is 6 years old and has unstable blood sugar, not on insulin. He has seen his pediatrician. What patches would you recommend?
Well, once again, I would start with the X39, and I would probably put the SP6 to help his hypothalamus. You know, the brain, and you could also include in there the carnosine, because carnosine is found in, you know, all the major organs. The research shows that when we cry, they can pick up carnosine coming out of the tears even.
Oh,
yeah. So, I mean, this is a little bit more of an intense situation. So, you know, he needs to be watched by his medical practitioner, but I would definitely always tell your medical practitioner that you're using these patches, and let them know what the patches are about. I always have my patients have a medical doctor and a doctor of Oriental medicine or something like that, because you want to tell them, because usually, I mean, we have some medical doctors with LifeWave, but they have stepped out of the box. They're looking at the evolution. You know, it's not a threat to them. So let them know what they're about. You know, look up what the patches are good for. I'm sure you're somebody within your pod there can teach you about that. But I would suggest those three, the X39, the SP6, and the carnosine.
beautiful. And another thing to tell your practitioners is the patches are non-transdermal. And that will be very helpful to a practitioner, because they don't want anything going in the body that they don't know what it is. And nothing is going in the body other than a frequency of light that your body generated.
Right.
Okay, so Terry's asking, should all the patches be avoided for transplants or just X39?
I would just avoid X39. Okay. Because that's going to increase your mother cells, and you don't want it to interfere.
Actually, I want to add to that one, because it might be glutathione also, because the enhancing of the immune system, and we don't want the body to reject it because their immune system's strong. What do you think about that?
I would have to research that more, because your body naturally makes its own glutathione. And, you know, when you eat certain things, you're going to produce it. So I don't see where it would activate it that much. I would have to research that more. Yeah.
Good. I want to learn about that. Let's talk later about that one.
Sure.
That's so good. I want to learn from you. Okay. Tammy wants to know, what about someone receiving immunotherapy drugs who's in remission?
I don't know what they're in remission from, but I'm assuming something. So
the big C.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. So definitely, definitely X39. Now, if they're within the time frame of them getting their immunotherapy, if there's ever a lag period, that's when you should include. I would include glutathione, but not during when they're getting it. Okay, you don't want to upset that balance. Just like if somebody's getting some oral chemotherapy, you don't want to include the glutathione while they're getting it, because our glutathione is pretty powerful. It's going to go after anything. Remember, your body has one mission, and that's to survive. So anything that's in there that shouldn't be, it's going to kind of go after, so to speak.
Okay.
So I would do it, at a different time. And then if they're getting their immunotherapy, besides that, I would put on the SP6 for their hypothalamus, because that also is going to help with other areas of their body. Yeah.
I think that SP6 is way underrated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is underrated. Just like when I first started using everything here, I felt that the energy enhancer was a little bit underrated, because that opens up the energies. Yeah.
So you got to talk about it for a second here. Why
Sure.
is energy enhancer so wonderful?
Because when there's a couple of things in energy medicine, is if you think about all these meridians as streams, and if something like stress is upsetting you, these streams are going to get a little blocked. Now the energy enhancer opens everything up. So your energies are going up and down, back and forth, more appropriately for you to go into homeostasis. And you might even see some pain levels go away with the energy enhancer. On the bottom of the foot, and that's a kind of an uncomfortable place, but I'm telling my people now to put it on that kidney 1 area with a Band-Aid over it. Or you can put it up here at the lung points, lung 1. Yep, right there. So, I like the energy enhancer, but now my new girlfriend is Eon, because more research was done on her. And, we see that she lowers CRP, homocysteine levels, a couple of other things. So decreasing inflammation is big for all of us sitting here. That's a big one. I have mine on the back of my neck, my Eon. Yeah.
Yeah. I sleep with mine. We can do another talk on that. Okay, we get up for a few more questions. We're a little
sure. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay, great. So Jose is saying my wife has too many white cells. Can she use the product?
I would not have her use the X39 daily. So she has something that we have to look after. I would have her use the Eon and the glutathione, 12 hours each one. Periodically, you might want to put on the X39 and then see I don't know when she's getting her next lab results or lab test, but see what happens with that. Okay, so basically there's an imbalance and we want to bring her back to balance. But I would cautiously use the X39. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's see. Brenda is asking, can the patches help people who have had side effects from the mRNA vaccine? If so, which patches would you start with?
I would always start with the X39 and then the glutathione. Because there's a little bit of inflammatory process going on, where the Eon at night, the other two during the day and the Eon at night. There's a lot we don't know about that right now, but you'll be safe. You're going to be safe. You have some stuff that's in your little, armamentarium. But yeah, I would do those.
Okay, let's see. Deb, who asked before about her grandson with the who's using
the neurological, yeah.
He said he's 23. Where's
the
placement of the carnosine for him?
I would, if you're wearing the cap, put the carnosine right on the back of his neck.
Great.
Because I want it to get really close to the brain as possible.
Okay, like C7, top of the spine?
Yeah, the same one that we all put the X39 on. Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know if he's able to put it on his belly button. He can do that. You know, some people have to switch back and forth because of the tape. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I can slap it right there the same way, same place every day.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch more new messages. I better go quickly. Judy said, can hardly wait to share the replay of tonight's call. My friends will so relate to you, Dr. Walt.
Oh, Judy, thank you. I
Yes,
still haven't met Judy. I want to meet her. Yeah.
I know. She's in Canada and we're
Yeah.
going to get to meet in Colorado. So we just want everyone to know Dr. Walt's going to be with us in Colorado on August 7th. Let's see. So Tammy said they've told her that she'll need to keep taking immunotherapy for the rest of her life. You don't need to buy that one. I'm going to tell you from personal experience. That's what they
Yeah.
say. It's not necessarily the truth. Right?
Right. Right. I be really cautious about anybody telling me, even my kind of practitioners telling you that you're gonna, if you hear the word always, you need to kind of step back.
Well, as many of you know, Gregory went through stage 4 lung cancer last year, and he did immunotherapy, and they said he would be on it every 3 weeks for the rest of his life. And we both looked at each other and said, no. He had 2 infusions, and in 4 months, he was no evidence of disease. So, the medical world knows what they know, and this new technology goes beyond what a lot of them know sometimes.
That is very true. Very well said.
So, yeah, we chose not to buy into that one. So you don't need to.
Yes.
You can if you want, but there's lots of wonderful things to do to make the body an unfriendly place for disease. So
can I say one thing
yes,
really
please.
quick? Because I'm having a little bit of a discussion with Dr. Dave. We're going to be putting together a video, but I think everybody knows that there's not only one way, there's a combination of ways, and we are organic. So when we're putting things that are organic in our bodies, your body has the innate wisdom to know what to do with it, how to do it, where to put it. Drugs are necessary. Remember, I'm by trained, so drugs are necessary, but there reaches a point where there has to be this transition where you're going to transition from one to the other, and you need licensed practitioners to help you, and you need medical practitioners that want to heal you. Drugs don't heal. I'm sorry to say that. They're there to help you, but you need to look at the natural stuff, and you have something very, very powerful with this technology, with the patches.
That's so beautiful. I'm so glad you shared that, because we're in partnership and we need to take responsibility. And one of the things we learned is how important it is to trust your practitioner.
Yep.
Whether they're from the conventional world or the natural world, it's really important to trust your practitioner, but you have to be a full-on partner and take responsibility and do your own research, because we found all kinds of things that no one ever told us without us doing our research. And, we learned a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
So
yep.
we're already way past our time, but wonderful acknowledgements. And Wendy's asking, does Dr. Walt take appointments? So in the beginning of the chat, I did put Dr. Walt's phone number for consults. We have many people that are getting consults, and I get rave reviews.
Oh,
so his phone number is 575, and it's in the top of the chat, 575-770-8, what is it?
9953.
Don't have my glasses on. So there we go. Well, I want to thank you, Dr. Walt. This is a wonderful call.
Thank you again. Yes.
A huge gift to our community. You're just, such a gift to all
thank
of
you.
us.
Well, thank you.
Yes. And thank you everyone for taking the time to be with us this evening. And if you're someone who's brand new, please get back to the person who invited you. We have many different programs to support you. The products do come with a guarantee. We have a wonderful customer program. And if you're the kind of person that likes to share, there's very generous compensation with our member distributor program. So I want to thank everyone for being with us tonight and say good night.
Good night. Thanks again.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.